What up, y'all? It has been far too long since I've done a video, and I feel like I have something to get off my chest, so I wanted to share it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jay. Not that I haven't posted content, because I have been posting my podcast, which you should go listen to, the Heart of a Lion podcast. But anyway, so my church has been fasting this week. We started Sunday at 7 p.m. and we go to tomorrow after service. And, typically I will say that I am not like a fasting type person, in the sense, like, I don't really fast from food, because when I was younger, when I lived on my own, I did what was called the struggle fast, or what I self-dubbed the struggle fast, in the sense that I was struggling. So I either had money to put in my gas tank, or I had money to put food on the table. And many days I had to put money in the gas tank, because I had to get to work. But so because of that, fasting for me, like, it didn't really do anything for me, because I'm used to going without eating. So when we would have different fasting things come up, like I would fast from social media, or fast from watching TV and different things like that. But this time was different. Like, I really felt, it's a strong impression from the Lord to actually take this fast serious, and to do the fast. And the fast that we're doing is a liquid fast. So if it ain't liquid, we ain't supposed to be having it. So you could, have your water, have your teas, have your smoothies, whatever, but, just stay away from the food. And again, I felt the strong impression to do it. And I remember before the fast, I was like, man, I need to have me a great meal. I need to have a great meal before my fast, and I need to have a great meal at the end of the fast. And I didn't really have the meal that I was, I didn't really have a meal per se. I ate, but I didn't really have a meal. So I remember, going to it being a little disappointed, and thinking like, well, I still need a great meal at the end of it. And all that being said, like, I feel like the Lord really shifted my perspective on the whole thing. Because, this is not shading anybody, because I had the same mentality, but all week I've been hearing people like saying like, oh yeah, I'm going here when the fast is over, or I'm doing this when the fast is over, And I feel like I'm at a place now where, like, I don't necessarily have a strong desire to go anywhere or eat anything in particular once the fast is over. I'm looking forward to eating, don't get me wrong. But like, I don't feel like, oh, I need to have this big elaborate meal. Like, I'm just content with eating when the fast is over. Like, I'm not worried about, how fancy or how elaborate the food is. Like, I just want to eat. But the things that I got out of this fast for me have been like very beneficial and very amazing. The first thing is like prior to the fast, or let me say this. So every night this week, we've had prayer service from 7 to 9 p.m. We had it Sunday, and, it ends tonight. And every night that we've had prayer, we've gone. But, I've often struggled with, like, man, there's just not enough time in the day. I don't have time to do everything that I need to do, or even want to do. I come home, I get the kids ready for bed, I put them to bed, and then I have like business stuff to do. I have all these different things to do, and it's like, I know I need to spend time with God. I know I need to pray, but I just feel like I don't have the time to do everything. Like, that's how I would often feel. And yet I found myself at prayer service every night this week. And it just goes to show, like, it proved to me, like, we do have time. We make time for what's important. So if I can drive, if I can make the drive to church and pray for 2 hours, and then drive home, like, I can make the time at home to pray for 2 hours. And not to say that it has to be 2 hours every night, or not to say it has to be 2 hours every night for a week, but I can still make that time to spend with God and to pray and to get in that much needed time with Him. Because at the end of the day, like, it's very beneficial. Like, it is definitely things, like, I really got out of it. And I know one day at prayer service, for me, like, it was just very powerful, because I saw, as I was praying, I saw what looked like a charging station, kind of like a phone charging station or a car charging station, but it was actually a people charging station. And I saw a man being charged up, and there were 4 bars on his back. Like I could literally see the battery on his back, or the light of the battery on his back. And it was 4 bars, and the battery was full. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, that's it. And like no sooner did I, have that thought, I saw the life of the battery go from 4 bars to like 15 bars. And what the Lord like showed me in that moment is, one, like when you believe for increase, when you believe for more of a capacity, the Lord can give it to you. 2, like once your battery is recharged, or once the life is full, like you're then like meant to get up and go out. Like in the same way, like we charge up our phones, it's at 100%. Okay, boom, like I'm ready to tackle what I need to tackle. I'm ready to go about my day. Like we have to be that same guy. We have to be charged up and then go out. 3, when we're believing God for that increase, and when we receive that increase, when we have that more capacity, like that requires us to spend more time with Him. Like, if I'm used to praying for 10 minutes every day, and then I get my breakthrough and I'm good, but I'm desiring to go deeper with God, if I'm desiring to go higher with God, like I can't keep doing things the same way. I can't expect, just a 5-minute devotional or 10-minute prayer every day to work in every single season. Like I have to push myself to go further. I have to push myself to go higher. I have to push myself to go deeper. So that means more time in prayer. So that means more time in my word. So that means more time with God. That means, taking time away from the other things. Like, I say I don't have time, but I can take time out of me watching TV. I can take time out of me doing other things. I can take time out of me doing my podcast. If that means that the Lord needs me to spend more time in prayer and spend more time with Him. And just understanding that, even with us being charged up, like we can't afford to be on E. I felt like the Lord say, like, you can't afford to be on E, but in every way you need to rely on me. And I think there's so many of us in general as people, like we run until we're burnt out and we're on our wits' end. And then some people fall into depression, some people fall into to many different things because like they're so burnt out. But I felt like the Lord say, like, we can't afford in this season to run on E. Like we need to charge up before we get to that point. Like in the same way, like people oftentimes, like not all people, but there are many people who, they'll drive their car until it's on E and then put gas in. Like God's saying, like, we can't afford to do that in this season. Like we can't afford to drive until we're on E. We can't afford to burn ourselves out, or just keep running until we're on E. Like, no, like we have to charge ourselves up at the halfway point, or even before that, like, but just continually charge ourselves up. But also understanding, because so my phone, I have a new phone, and with my phone now, like I can put it on the charger, and it goes from 0 to 50 in 10, 20 minutes. It's crazy. However, once it gets to that 80, 90%, it starts to slow down. Like I have to keep it on the charger much longer in order to get that 100%. And again, what God has shown me is that you can spend time with me and you can dwell here, but if you want the fullness of what I have for you, then it's going to require more time with me. It's going to require for you to go deeper. It's going to require for you to go harder. Rather than you get to that point where you might stop praying, it's like, no, I need you to push even more. When you get to that point when you want to stop reading the word, no, I need you to read even more. When you get to that point where you want to stop, allowing Him to use you or stop doing your different gifts, no, I need you to go further. I need you to go harder. So yeah, this fast has been good. This fast has been good for me, to me, and it's just I think I only had one day when I was deep hunger pains. I know I even played basketball one day. People told me that I was crazy. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but it's still part of my regular routine, and I didn't feel, weird or like I was exhausted afterwards. But that same night, I did get a headache and I started feeling dizzy, so for that next almost 24 hours, I was just my head was just everywhere. But outside that, again, God has just been so good. God has been so good through this fast, and coming out of it, it just, one, makes me want to take fasting more serious in the sense I need to do it more. But also, just really consecrating myself so that way when I feel that urge, when or we are called to fast, I want to do it and take it serious, but also understand like that you can get things from it. And I didn't have an expectation going in because our pastor said, to fast, but don't expect anything. What am I even trying to say? But just saying, like, understanding that God will move. Understand that when I fast, that things will shift and that God will move. So just be obedient to whatever the Lord is telling you to do. Again, like I'm at a place where I feel like I'm good. Like I don't have any food cravings. I've been around food and just had I'm like, that looks good, but like, I don't need it. I'm good. I'm good where I am in regard to what God has shown me this week. And there are other things that He's shown me that I have written down, but I just don't remember at the moment. But all I can say is that God is good, and when you really truly consecrate yourself, that God will reveal Himself to you. But also He'll also shift your perspective. Because again, like, I was looking forward to eating, and I'm just like, I'm cool. Like, I want to eat, but I'm cool. So that's it, y'all. God bless.